Hey everybody, my name is Kalle Slaap, watchmaker from the Netherlands, and the now famous Rolex, eaten by a cow in 1974 in an English field for 50 years, and you probably know not too long ago it looked like this. Well, for us the challenge is to restore it and to retain as much as possible watch parts of the original watch. Clean them, all stuff, and it is looking good. Today was the final rinse, so the last couple of days we were busy with all the adjustments, mostly division. Well, this is end shake, so a wheel between two bearings must have a tiny bit of space so it can move around. Same as the front wheel of your bicycle, if it doesn't move. Tiny bit of space, because the movement looked horrible. Mostly was the division. So this is a bit of end shake. If this is the wheel, just a bit of play, but this is division. So all the parts engage with each other the right way. That was a bit of a job. Look at this. We did some rebushing. I'm putting it out there for the barrel. There. Those are new. Because the silly thing is there was a lot of wear before it came into the field. So we were cleaning watch parts and they were worn. But now you can see it's running really smooth, and there's just enough room between the two parts that they're not touching in every way you are wearing a watch. So running really smooth. But you're handling watch parts, so all this was pre-final stage. Now we did the rinsing and now we are compiling the watch. Here is there it is, the beautiful balance wheel. In a previous update I showed how we cleaned it. Looked horrible. Here the rotor for the automatic winding with the new pivots inside, was completely rusted, all taken care of. There for the automatic winding did a replating, so we are getting somewhere. The challenge was to use as much old parts, original parts, rusted parts as possible. This is the main barrel, and the teeth weren't okay. Simply too tarnished and not up to the job, because from the main barrel all the power comes from. This is the lid, and that is made of brass. Why not? Why not use it? Bit of a task to clean it. Sorry, that one. To clean it, you can see I do it under a liquid. This time I used a bit of alcohol, and it came off so easily. Using a scalpel, really sharp, and it does make some scratches on the very soft brass, as you can imagine. But we are restoring a watch, so we are using the old and traditional ways of doing techniques. So it was too hard and too attached to the brass than to simply brush it off, or even a glass brush. It didn't work. No, not even with some pegwood and some abrasive action. So we really needed the scalpel, but looking good, getting clean. Getting the inside clean, because you really don't want any leftover rust and stuff. So partly cleaned, and you can see some tiny markings. So there is the next step. Here is the clean lid, and you can see some traces of scratching and marking, but all the rust is gone, and the derusting agent didn't help either. Rust converter, we tried different things. Okay, now I got a collet, and with the collet you can clamp it in from the side without straining the part. This is my trusty Line Bolet lathe I use, well, just about every single day, and Edwin does. And here you can see the collet is holding it from the side, and with the scratches I made, doesn't look too nice, even though you don't see it. We're watchmakers, so it has to be perfect, even though if you don't see it. And with just some abrasive, it is way finer than sandpaper, but it resembles it a bit. And because of the rotating motion, I'm making a circular graining now. Get right in the end, and there you can see, holding it from the side, no stress, and just a beautiful circular graining in the lid of, there it is, beautiful, isn't it? So all the fine scratching I made, no problem, just a fine circular graining, just like the original. It's beautiful. And now we have the original part, no rust, and fits perfectly, and there wasn't too much play in there, so to do. Now the barrel is new, the other one wasn't up to par, and there's a fiber there, but I took it out. There you see. That is graphite grease, because it's an automatic winding movement. It must slide to the side. Now I do it a bit with without the fiber. Graphite grease. In the middle we use Molykote DX, but there are different greases for the inside. So this is a used but original Rolex barrel. Now the graphite grease on the outside, the Molykote DX on the inside, and a new spring, of course. But I think the old spring wasn't hardly any tarnished, because the alloy, well, is quite, well, doesn't get too tarnished by rust. But new spring, always the end first. If the end is in, the rest will follow. Cheers everybody. Well, gently push it down. I like to do that with a soft material. This is just me. Oh, that's the arbor, of course. It is a strange day today, because my dad passed away last year to this day today. So in a moment I'm going to the family, but I'm well, getting buried in work, not to think too much. Strange day. This is just me. I would like a bit of HP 1300. It's probably not needed, because it's already, well, there's some grease there, or oil there, lubricant, but I just like it. And the Molykote DX on the arbor, it is a sliding surface, so it needs lubrication. And there you can see slightly the tarnishing of the rust, but even with the finishing and with the circular graining, you're really not in that deep. It's just the surface. We're talking microns maybe, and I'm pushing down the lid. I love this tool. You can see from my fingers I was using the alcohol for cleaning. It's a bit white. But there, the barrel used but original Omega Rolex, and there the original the original barrel still being used. Well, and there it is. Well, this is the final assembly. Everything clean. All the plates are out, especially the divisions of all the parts. Yeah, and now we are getting very close to the end result. Still need the cannon pinion, the wheel. There's no date in this one. So yeah, getting very close. I'll keep you posted. There was a lot of work, especially because some parts, here you can see the original lid. All parts original, all that nickel plated. So yeah, the original movement is running again. We are amazed that these are the parts that couldn't be saved anymore. Here the old barrel, and here we could have used the spring, but of course we're not. In the next update I'll show you a bit more, but here are the wheels. All the pivots were completely rusted. Maybe just to remind you that here you can see all the parts, but with a lot of elbow grease. There the balance spring, the gear train, there for the automatic winding. To be honest, we had to drill out quite a few screws. So and here you see a ring there, that is a piece of the screw. You can see it in a previous update. So these are the parts that aren't usable anymore. And here the famous piece of winding stem drilled out. The screws aren't here because we had to drill them out. They are gone. So but then again, and the tiny springs are completely rusted away, but this is just about it. If you just put in the effort to make it beautiful again. Next stop, moving watch, but I want to show you a bit more about the steps in between to get to this beautiful end result. All of you, I really hope you enjoy your weekend. See ya, bye bye.